Hello, my beautiful, beautiful people. I'm coming back to you guys because since I have been gone, y'all have been cutting up. I go away to start a couple of new projects so that we can expound upon the podcast. And since I have been gone, y'all have let Elon Musk buy Twitter. Y'all have indicted a former president. Y'all are trying to make America a real live Handmaid's Tale episode or life of it. Y'all have canceled Kanye. and y'all have actually America has actually lost its mind because now it's almost a weekly thing that we're hearing someone is getting hurt in some type of absurd manner. Now, do not get me wrong. Before anyone gets butt hurt, I am not against people having a gun in their home because I believe that with the state that um America is in right now, if you don't have something to protect yourself, what do? Because I feel like the people that will turn in their guns are the people that will be left vulnerable, and then the people that don't turn in their guns, who are not necessarily law-abiding citizens, will take advantage of that, or you will make law-abiding citizens become non-law-abiding citizens because they will be afraid to relinquish their firearms. So, I'm not a proponent for that, but I don't have the answer. And I would hope that someone somewhere who's smarter than I am can sit down and have a conversation and actually not just listen to one another speak or say words, but actually have a wholehearted conversation where you're hearing what the person in front or across from you is saying. Because for three children to be killed at a school, and then three adults that were trying to protect them, or oh my goodness. And then we have five people at a bank. They're at work. Like, this is almost a daily, and I feel like we are, or have become almost numb to it. We are afraid. These are all my opinions. Let's say that. I do feel like that we are afraid to actually do normal things. And again, I don't have the solution. I don't know what the answer is. But I do know that it has to be a real live conversation, instead of everybody saying, you're not going to take mine, you're not going to take mine, and the other side is saying, that's not what we're trying to, instead of it being an argument, is my point. We need to have, and the we is the powers that be, because I know I don't have that power. Um, I would love to sit in a room, um, and be amongst the conversation. But at this point, I actually do not know what to do. And the reason that this has come up is because, again, it is a weekly, if not a daily, that the next big thing is the next big shooting. And it's our children. Like, it's our children. We're hurting our children. I can't, I don't know where to go with that. But I came in because I wanted to talk about the latest incident that happened on this past Thursday, which all of the shootings are gut wrenching. Every single one. I am not trying to take any spotlight from any one person or any one event, for someone losing their life, losing a child, or, being hurt at all. But it seems like it's becoming more and more hard and a crime to live while black. I usually don't like to go as controversial as this, but at this moment, it really seems as though living while black is dangerous. Because if a 16-year-old child can knock on an 84-year-old man's door and be shot twice, once in the head and again in the arm, for knocking on a door mistakenly, what are we doing? What are we doing? I do understand having something in your home, like I said earlier, to protect yourselves. Do not have a problem with that. But what I do have a problem with is you using the law to try to skirt your criminal act. Because you, in my opinion, and I'm not going to say his name because I'm not going to give that man any publicity or any extra sound bites. But if you are 84 years old and you have cameras at your home, because the police did look at the camera, and you are so afraid to be at your home alone, you need to express that, in my opinion, to someone to get help, either to have a companion, talk to a child if you have children, something. But because it seems as though you have a fear of living alone, because a 16-year-old child that appears to be maybe 140 pounds soaking wet makes you feel as though your life is in danger, and you try to use the law for your good. It's just beyond me, because it seems as though, from the information that I have seen and read, that the only thing that this gentleman, this 84-year-old gentleman, had a problem with is the fact that this young man was black. He did not look like him. Yeah. And for this gentleman to feel as though he was in any danger, how is it? I have questions. I always have questions. How is it that you come outside and you feel safe then once you're outside, but when you are behind a door that is between you and the perceived threat, you're afraid? I'm confused. Yes, of course, I know there was a shot fired, but you were so brazen as to come and shoot this, or stand over this child and shoot him yet again in the arm. Thank God it was in the arm. I know that doesn't seem like the right thing to say, but I know it could have been worse. He could have aimed for his head for the second time. But thankfully, this young man, this 16-year-old young man, honor student, with aspirations to go to Princeton, this absolute fabulous musician, is home. He's home. He has a long way to go. But the next set of questions that I have is, how was it that this 84-year-old gunman, who I will say was, or could be viewed as a person that was trying to murder someone, so he's an attempted murderer, how is it that he only spent 2 hours in jail out of the 24 that his state requires that you stay? Yeah, I don't have that answer either. And I'm hoping someone that sees this can tell me. You know, I am open always for dialogue. But my other question too, for anyone that would like to have a dialogue, is that How is it that he actually was able to go home and later turn himself in? Because in my psyche and in my thought process, if the roles had been reversed and someone that looks like me shot someone that does not look like me under the same pretense, I don't even know if they would have lived once the officers got there, let alone be released to go home and then have the opportunity to turn themselves in. I am just so distraught. I have no words. Um, but I had to get here because this microphone and sitting in front of this camera is extremely cathartic for me. So I had to sit down and actually get the thoughts that are in my head out, because there is no way that this is okay. And the only reason that we seem to get justice is because we put children or adults as well. But everyone is a hashtag now, and we have to protest, and and then we have to hear the other side. They've always said, we're for the blue, and we feel like all lives matter, and all of these things. Well, we can't say that, because clearly, if you look like me, all lives don't matter. Um, And the people that don't look like me have made it quite clear that they don't, that we don't. And I am not sure why our skin tone, the melanin that we have, is weaponized for one. But then on the flip side of that, it has it's a marketing tool, So in my opinion, it's not necessarily a bad thing to have or to look this way if you're not born with it. But if you let the sun hit you, or if you use products to make you have the appearance of melanin, then it's okay. But people that are born with the actual melanin inside of them, it's used as a weapon. This is something that we cannot control. We can't control how we came or how our children are coming onto this earth. And it is extremely unfair that children are introduced to the fears that they are introduced to. When I was in school, my biggest fear was a tornado. Our tornado drills at school scare the crap out of me. Now, there are parents with children, they come home and they have had active shooter drills. Like, I don't even know what to do with that. I would be so terrified if I had a child that was in any school system. Honestly, I probably would try to find employment where I work from home and possibly have my child homeschooled or some form of that, because it has gotten so very dangerous to do anything, especially living while Black, but to do almost a lot of the things that are just normal. Having a conversation with my family, my son brought up the fact that the issue is nobody is afraid anymore. Nobody is afraid of what will happen to them. If they do something, it's almost oh, well, it's kind of shrugged off. And my rebuttal to that, or not rebuttal, but my stance was, if we continue to show things on television and they either get a slap on the wrist or they go down in infamy, a lot of these people who are doing these things, in my opinion, are doing them to be seen. There's something else there, not with this gentleman. In other instances, with going to schools and to places of employment. But I feel like there's something bigger there. They feel that they need to be heard. So doing these tragic things and causing these tragic events to happen, they feel that they will go down in infamy and their name will always be associated with, and they will always be in a conversation. We have to quit. And I know we have to have the information come to us, but I feel like also we cannot continue to sensationalize this. I don't know how to fix that either, because I know we can't tell the news outlets to not let us know what's going on, because we have to have information. I don't have the answer. I don't have the answer. It's just, I want to put it out there so someone that, like I said, is smarter than I am can come up with a solution. Something that's not going to take 30, 40 years, where somebody gets an aha moment, and the epiphany comes. Like, we need something now instead of fighting over, you know, craziness of things that people say that are untrue, or, my belief is better than yours. Let's come together and believe that human life, people that are here on this earth, that are walking around, living and breathing their lives, we have to come together to save each other, and especially our children. And it seems that my son might possibly be correct, because each time you turn around, no one is saying, "Oh God, I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to go." You hear most people, they boast about this. What is it that it has happened to our society where people are boasting about being arrested, going to jail, going to prison, having things happen? Like, that's a badge of honor. How? How? That just baffles me. I'm so taken aback at that. Like, being a bad guy is a good thing. Now, don't get me wrong. I know living on the edge a little bit, yes, but not to the point to where I feel like, I did 5 to 10, and what is that to brag about? Who is making that a thing, and why is it a thing? You know, I personally feel like, again, I personally feel like, and I know a lot of people that are probably going to watch this are not going to agree, but there needs to be conversations with people in the generation where this is happening. And when I say that, I'm talking about millennials, Gen Z, people like that need to be able to come together and talk and be like-minded and have a conversation where they're with people that understand them and understand what they're going through. Not maybe necessarily people that have not lived in this time, been their age, or had these type things happen. So I feel like if people are of a certain age, then they may not need to be in that conversation. They may need to sit this one out and let the people that are having these issues talk, because they live it, they see it, they know what has prompted the other children or the other young adults to do certain things. So they're more aware, again, because they're in it, they're living it. But to have our melanin skin type weaponized when it's a person wants it to be, but marketed when they want it to be also, you guys, that is some really traumatic stuff. That is some real live PTSD things. And I know people have issues with mental health and things like that. So if you know of someone, or if you hear someone that is so stressed out and they need to talk to someone or whatever, and I know it sounds like I'm just going from issue to issue, but I'm trying to come full circle. If they need to talk to someone before they go and pick up a gun, if your parent or sibling or relative, friend, whatever, is older and they feel, maybe not even older, they feel unsafe in their atmosphere to where they do erratic things as far as shooting someone at the door, when there is something in between, a barrier in between them and the perceived perpetrator. or if someone loses their job, like there has to be a conversation that leads to action and not just get stuck on conversation because we all feel that my point is right. There's compromise in everything, you know. Again, like I said in the beginning of the video, we don't want to take everybody's guns, but I don't have the answer. And I'm not saying yes, let's do that, but I'm saying, what is it that we do? What is it that we do? Are we going to always have a generation after generation after generation where things keep getting ramped up, where now it's active shooter at schools, and then what's going to be the next thing? That children are always going to have something that they worry about in their innocence. Well, is what is supposed to be their innocent phase. They have to worry about a bad man coming into a place where they spend 8 hours, if not more, a day, that could possibly come in and hurt them, or come in and hurt someone that is there to protect them. We have to come out of that. Again, I don't know how or what we do, but something has to happen. Because right now, I feel like we're just spiraling, and we've spiraled so much until we're out of control. But I feel like you may be able to catch it somehow if we try to put our hands on it. But it doesn't seem like anyone is really trying to catch it and put the hand on it. It's just my way. I'm going to keep my gun and I'm going to have it. And then you have the other side over here, saying things that other people don't agree with. And I don't know what the happy medium is. I don't. But I do know individually we need to do a self checkup and make sure, I would say, that when something is going on, if you're triggered by something, then chat with somebody instead of picking up a firearm as your first idea, and not actually in a defensive mode. Because we're hearing this way too often. And I'm just paralyzed mentally with what to do. Like, I want to help. I want to do something. I don't even know where to start, but hopefully, prayerfully, we'll come to something before it gets any worse, because God knows it can. I know that it can, but let's not let it get any worse. Let's do exactly the things that we can. I don't know if we talk to our congressman, whatever it is. If somebody knows what to do, message me. We can put it out there. But right now, we have to do something. So, yeah, that was my little rant. My heartbroken rant, because I feel like, so many parents are needing hugs, and, siblings are needing hugs. Families are having to have arms wrapped around them because they're having to make decisions that can break anyone, let alone a decision that they have to make to get emergency care for their child, or actually make burial arrangements for their child. It has gotten so out of hand, you guys. But thank you so very much for sitting and listening to my rant. I know it was all over the place. I'm really sorry about that, but this one just hit me really, really hard. It took me a moment to actually say that I wanted to come and say something about it, because I didn't want to be too in your face about it. But, I did want to maybe have some people to step up and, hey, let's just not say we're not going to do anything. It's just going to happen. But, let's see what it is that we can do. Okay. So until next time, I pray that you all stay safe, love hard, and laugh loud.